What's happening, chess fans? Welcome to Net Chess and Chill. Today is episode number 20 on my journey to 1200 ELO. And if you guys have been watching my series, I lost 3 games back to back to back yesterday. So the goal is to kind of bounce back. I've been having trouble just staying over 1000 ELO. So we're trying to rectify that. And I guess without further ado, let's get into today's game. So get some tunes on. And deep breath, and let's get into today's game. Let's see who we're going to play today. All right, Vanine Freer. Good luck, my friend. We are going to play a London. They are rated 1070, and they are from Chile. So that's pretty cool. All right, so this is the modern defense. You know, I'm not 100% sure what I should play in these scenarios. I know that pushing for e5 is a decent way to play. I also know that I like to get my knight to c3 and then play e4, but we've kind of already started a little bit differently. So with all that being said, I think I'm going to just maybe develop, normally I'm going to get my knight here to the f3 square. They're going for a pin immediately. I'm not too worried about things like that. And yeah, I think c3 is maybe my next move. I can also just go ahead and if I take, he takes, I take. We're not looking so hot there. I can back up. I could also take once and then potentially move over to here. I don't know how bad of a move this is. I'm not going to think too hard about this. I'm going to let him take, and then I'll just maybe retreat. Is this a good move? Not really, because he can just play that, maybe. Yeah, we'll just back up. I'm not really worried about this. I'm going to play c3, and yeah, we'll just keep it moving. So I guess he wants to make it so if I take this right now, he's gonna take my queen, which, all right. I don't think that requires too much calculation. Maybe it does. So now he's more than likely going to take. Okay, he doesn't. I could bring this knight back. Could also take the pawn. Or I could develop like this naturally and not worry about too much. I think this free pawn is probably not a terrible move. This is also a hanging pawn. So I could play a move like this. I could also pin the knight. I don't really want him to capture and then mess up my structure, so I was thinking about maybe just doing this. I think that'll be okay, and then maybe we can just take the pawn. I'm a little out of my comfort zone already. But I'm giving up this pawn potentially for So this is hanging right now. I need to defend it. I was thinking about a move. They was definitely not defending it. um, I mean, I could move the bishop here. I could just move my knight, which might be alright, but then he's going to take this pawn. Let's see. I think coming back is maybe not the worst move in the world, but I know that typically that's not what we want to do. Could move like this. Could do something like this. I'm using a lot of time. My opponent is not using any time. So I think that I don't really know what to do. So I'm going to just bring my knight back. If he wants this pawn, I don't think it's really worth trying to take, but maybe it is. I'm thinking about getting castled next turn. I also could just maybe go for this pawn. I do feel pretty uncomfortable in this position. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. I have a feeling he's going to bring his knight into here maybe, which, I mean, I'm just going to castle, I think. So, yeah, interesting so far. They're probably going to castle queenside. Pretty interesting position, I guess. They still haven't developed their knight. I'm just trying to come up with maybe a game plan. I really don't know. I'm almost fully developed. We are up one pawn, but this pawn is hanging. We could move our bishop to allow a trade like this. I guess he could take. I guess that's a move. But I'm looking at potentially taking that pawn, maybe not letting him castle. Oh, I guess he can't castle because of my rook. So that makes more sense. He actually can't castle, and I could just take that pawn. So he's probably going to need to develop and get castled kingside. So I definitely don't think I want to block this file, which I wasn't really seeing that before. But yeah, even a move like this allows him to castle. So maybe we don't do that. I have ideas of maybe that, but again, he could just castle. Not really sure what my opponent wants to do with all that. I'm gonna just keep this here. This is a pending threat. Also, if he's not gonna get castled soon, like right now, he's gonna need to move his bishop to one of these squares. I could potentially look at something like that. I guess if he moves his bishop here, I would just take it. So he's gonna need to probably come back here. And with that, I could try to do something of that flavor. Um, could also just simply take the pawn, maybe. If I do this, this pawn is hanging. Um, so I am threatening to fork, but he can just move his rook. Probably should get castled. So I do have this move. What's my follow-up? Don't really have much of one, do I? So this is a free pawn. However, this is also potential. Well, it's not hanging at the moment. Maybe I just continue developing. I could give the check. I think that's fine. And then probably we at least make it so he can't castle right now. Okay, so am I missing something? I must be. I've got to be missing something. That's interesting. So I can just come all the way back. I can also just get castled. Alright, I guess with all that being said, we can maybe go for a move like this. Just double up our rooks. I can bring this bishop back. We are up in exchange. And a pawn. So I don't necessarily know what my opponent is doing. It seems like he just gave up a bishop. But maybe I'm tripping. Because now this is hanging. Yeah, so I'm not really 100% sure what my opponent really was planning, but I think we can just back the bishop up. If this knight moves, I guess he doesn't really have too many spots he can move. He's kind of in a little bit of a predicament. I think that we should also make a left for my king so that I just don't have any back rank issues, but now we're up quite a bit of material, and I would be okay just trading pieces. I think getting the rook back over to this file is a good idea. I also think that Yeah, we'll keep the rooks doubled, and then I can maybe start trying to trade off some material. So my opponent is, again, trying to attack, but I'm ready to start trading. So if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But I'm very content trading. Maybe giving up the knight was a better idea than trying to trade the bishop, but... So he's attacking this. I'm going to give a check. We'll trade this way. Alright, so we did get a trade that we wanted. King moves. Let's see, do we have anything cool? Probably not. I'm gonna attack the king. He's gonna need to move down. Okay, he doesn't do that. He instead does this, which I'm gonna win a piece, I think, unless he just comes back, and then, I mean, this should win material. We're basically up a full rook right now. So, fine with this trade. We can attack the bishop. If he comes down to take the pawn, I have the check. If I go here, where does he go? I think we'll do it like that. Let's see. We'll take the pawn attacking the bishop. I'm not understanding what is going on. We're now up all the material. This should be an easy victory for us now. My opponent just kind of gave up most of his material. Don't really know why. I guess this is technically kind of forking pieces, but we'll just bring our rook over. Could also just do this, but so I don't know what my opponent did during this game, but he kind of just gave away a bunch of pieces for free, seemingly. Unless he's got some big I'm awesome at chess moment coming up soon. I don't really see how he can pull off the victory here, so Yeah, that doesn't work. This doesn't work. We're just gonna play up here. If he wants to take the bishop, that's fine. He could come back, but we can attack the knight. So I don't really know what my opponent was thinking, really. He kind of played a wild game of chess here. Yeah. Playing people like this gives me hope that I should easily be over 1,000 rating. Because I don't understand how you got to be rated 1,000 playing like this. But I play some people rated around, like at my rating range. I play some people that play like they are just the cat's pajamas. And then I also play some guys that play like this. And it seems like they almost don't know how to play chess. But a lot of the people I've been playing recently seem to be playing more like the robots. Like they just play a really good game of chess. That or I just am not smart enough to see the holes in my play. So I'm sorry that my opponent had this kind of game. Maybe he's playing tilted or something, which I totally understand. I lost 3 games yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, I was probably what you would consider tilted. A little bit upset. For sure. It seems like he's just gonna run out of time here just on purpose. So, I don't normally do it, but I like to report for stalling. Just if you're gonna, I mean, there's no reason why you can't just resign instead of making us sit here for a minute. It's kind of a waste of both of our times. Your time, it's wasting your time, and it's wasting what is infinitely more valuable, my time. So. Played with 89.8% accuracy. My opponent played with 78.9%, and I mean, it was a pretty seemingly easy game to play. I just played a traditional London. A lot of times what I do in this setup is I actually develop my knight to c3, and then I just go for c4, because typically the knight comes out. My opponent played a modern though, not the King's Indian. It's a little bit different. The King's Indian, you bring the knight out first, you still play d6, and your bishop comes here, and you castle kingside. But this was a weird game. My opponent pinned my knight. I actually was inaccurate here. I should have just kicked the bishop. Okay. I didn't think that that is the better move, but I took once here, he takes, and then I just back up, so that's the best continuation for me. He then pushes the pawn, trying to, I guess, win my knight, but my other knight can just take. He then thinks that trading the queens is gonna make life better. I thought, oh, he's going to castle queenside, but he cannot castle queenside because my rook is stopping him. So that might have just annoyed him to death. I actually don't know. This pawn is also hanging, but I have a hanging pawn in this position as well, and I also did not want him to take and ruin my structure. So I think that the next move that I make is an inaccuracy. Yeah, it wants me to just not let him take this pawn and not worry about this. Apparently not that big of a deal. So I thought it was. Here I almost made the mistake of leaving my knight hanging, but instead I moved my knight. He then takes. I just pushed my rook forward, which is apparently not as good as this, but I loved the fact that he couldn't castle queenside. So I liked what I did. And I'm also just defending this pawn just in case I move the knight. I do move the knight, go figure. He moves his rook. I just decided, hey, I'll give the check with the knight. You're not winning 2 of my pieces. I give this check. If he can't move his king over. So I was like, this is a decent move. I give the check. He's going to need to move his king. You can't castle. Instead, he takes, which I did not expect. I'm like, all right, cool. Say less. I get castled. I'm feeling pretty comfy here. He castles, I double up my rooks, he takes what he I guess maybe thought was a free pawn. I mean, my rook is right here, so I don't know what my opponent was actually doing, whether he was just playing kind of tilted or what. But, yeah, this is the position we have. He really wants to win this pawn, too. I'm not really worried about it. He does this. So, I'm not gonna lie. If you take this pawn, if you take it with anything, I'm gonna be taking with my... Well, actually, I can't right now. But, yeah, he really wants this pawn. I'm not too worried about it. I don't know why he was so obsessed with it. I just decided here to give this check. I should have just kicked the knight. And, like, why are you here? What are we doing? I give the check. He's got to take. I take. He moves his king forward. I give the check. He then blocks. I then decide, let's get rid of some material. He moves the one knight, defending this knight. I don't think, I mean, the computer agrees it's not the best move. I take. He takes. I then bring this knight in, attacking the bishop. He takes the pawn. I'm not really too worried about that. I give the check. He moves. In this position, I take another pawn over here, threatening the bishop. He just moves the knight, which was defending the bishop. That's definitely not the best move at all. So I just take the bishop. He then attacks my bishop and my rook. I guess thinking that, I don't know. I mean, I just need to move my rook, right? Because my bishop is defended. So I just moved my rook forward, and he didn't want to play anymore. So I apparently played like a 1550, which is so much higher than I'm rated. So I love seeing that. He played like a 1200. I would beg to differ. I don't think he played like a 1200. If 1200s play that way, then I can't wait till I become 1200, because that is the goal. So, yeah, fun game. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about that one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow.